Alright, so I'm just going to record my video for today. So far, I've been doing the Living with an AI LLM documentary for 1 year. I finished week one last week, and I'll update that or upload that, I think, after this video. So this is like week two, video one. And I think this is a good point to make a video because I had one desktop help desk managed service provider interview today. Went pretty good. It's weird because I talked very well with everyone. I made interesting technical things that I solved, and they laughed and agreed oh, we run into this every day. But then towards the end of the interview, they just don't seem interested. I guess I asked questions that everyone asks or something. How can I get more advanced skills with you guys? But it's that's honestly the question I want to ask. So I think I'm just going to keep asking it. And it'll be interesting if I hear back from that job, because I have all the skills that they would need for that job. And I even learning things so the extra stuff I'm doing with the AI LLM, learning Windows Server Admin and Microsoft Power BI. I think that definitely piqued their interest a little bit. But they want someone that's a full networking server firewall configurer person. So I guess I had to learn how to do that. Even though that's really not what a job at that level should be doing. But okay, I guess that's what I have to learn to get a job for some reason. Even though it doesn't make sense. But sure, whatever. If that gets me a job, I can learn Cisco switches and Windows firewalls. And when I talk to them, I get the feeling that they just don't think that I know anything beyond the basics. Even though I'm telling them advanced things and troubleshooting processes, it just doesn't seem to click for some reason. And it's weird. So at this point, I figured I can't determine what they're thinking. I'm not going to make them think something about me. So just doing the interview at this point. Because I know my skills at this point. My resume shows my skills. That's kind of all I can go with. And so that was just an interview because I've been trying to get a job for 6 months. And at least I got an interview, but it's that doesn't get me a job. But I am learning new skills with the help of the AI LLM. And so the real reason for this video was okay, I stayed at a hotel this weekend just to get a day off, and it was fantastic. Best night I've had in a long time. And it only cost $69, which is impossible. I just happen to know the place to go, and then on the off days it's that. So it's all right, I have two options at this point where I can rent a house for a year, lease the house for a year. I have a house for a whole year on a lease. But it would take about half the amount of money that I have because they are requiring a month and a half security deposit, 5 months up front at an insane rate. The heating for the house would cost $1,000 because this is weird ass heating. I'd had to buy a car, a used car, so I'm not trapped there. And altogether, that's about half my money. And I feel like they're going to be very difficult for making payments and stuff like that. So my two options are I can rent that house for a year, which I'm really tempted to do. It smelled like paint or something, and maybe I could clean that out. And I could also get a roommate. But they want to charge money for me to get a roommate, but I could like put in the contract and only cost like an extra $100 or something like that. That's option one. Option two, I can live in the hotel for a year for the same price pretty much. Because while if I stay at the hotel one day, it's like 69. If I do another day, it's like 100. They said like if you rent a whole month, they give you basically like $89 for the whole month, which is somehow exactly the amount that I would be paying for this house. So those are my two options. I like living in the house because then I would have an address and I could work. Because you need that. They don't let you work without an address. So I don't think if I live in a hotel, I can use that as an address and work. But I would have so much freedom in the hotel. Maybe I get another type of job, such as YouTube broadcasting or DJing. And so, yeah, in the hotel and the house, I do want to do the YouTube DJ stream. And equally or as good, I think the house would be a little better because I could have a permanent music setup there and just stream every day. It's kind of why I'm leaning towards that. Both have a kitchen, which is unheard of. It's like, oh yeah, my hotel is a full kitchen in the room. Like, okay, how's a hotel so cheap? I don't know. So it's like, how could I not pick that option? So those are my two options. With the hotel, I would end up spending about maybe a fourth of my money instead of half of my money because, let me think about it. Yeah, maybe like a fifth of my, or like whatever between a fourth and a half is. And then I wouldn't probably have to get a car at the hotel, or I could. Okay, so that would change the difference then. So it's about equal, maybe a little cheaper to be in the hotel because I wouldn't have like the $3,000 security deposit that I probably won't get back. That's like a free month in the hotel. But I don't get an address to work. But I'm not stuck in a year lease, so I could leave at any time. That's also very tempting because I have no idea what I want to do. I don't know where I want to be at this point. I kind of want to stay in this state so I can sell insurance, but even that's not like a given. Nothing's a given at this point. The only other thing is I've been selling my video game stuff and anything I can do to make extra money. I was thinking earlier that it's like, I feel stupid that like, or like, not pathetic, but like, it's kind of like entitled, empathetic, and like whining and weak at the same time, where it's like, I have all this opportunity. I understand that. But it's like, I can't build a future from here. I have like no future from here, regardless of what my past was, or including what my past was and my present. It's like, there's no future. So it's like, I'm selling my video games, which is a big deal to me because, like, I was my entire life playing video games. I want to make video games now. I am willing to sell the ones that I don't absolutely want or like I can buy back later. But it sucks because it's like I shouldn't have to do that. I'm trying to get a job and work, but that's just not happening. So it's like I understand that people are struggling to like eat and survive and even find like a place to live. And it's like I don't want to end up in that situation. Especially if I'm working every day to actively make that not happen. So if I got a roommate, that would really help. I feel stupid that like I'm selling video games to like survive, and it's like I had like some really valuable resource and I could sell it to survive, and other people don't have that resource. But it's like that's not my fault. Like I spent years collecting those games. I spent a lot of my time collecting those games. The good thing is I have all the knowledge from collecting those games from where I would go to the flea market in one state and even the one where I got the games, and tell him what the value of pretty much every video game he has was without using Google. He would always use like some price charting website. And I'd be like, no, I can just tell you what they're all worth pretty much. And I'd be pretty accurate. And so going with that, he wouldn't hire me. I went to his store like for 2 or 3 years. I was a loyal customer. He's like, I would never hire you. And it's like, oh, okay. I even watched his store for him one time when he had to go to the bathroom. He's like, I trust you enough to watch my store while I'm gone, but I won't hire you. And it's like, that's exactly a great way to sum up my life. It's so weird. I'm not mad at him. It's like, we did good video game trades. I got a lot of really good games. I got some that I've wanted my entire life. And the last time I met him, he had Burn Cycle on Philips CDI. I was like, are you aware this is like the greatest cyberpunk game of all time? He's like, no, I was just selling it with all the other CDI games for like $10. And I'm like, you should reconsider that. And I almost bought it because like I read this magazine article like 20 years ago about Burn Cycle, and it was like, this is one of the greatest games ever made. I wish I could play this game one day. And then I just happened to like see that game the last day I'm there before I leave the state. And I almost bought it, but I'm glad I didn't, because like I downloaded the soundtrack when I got back, and I was like, this is the best soundtrack ever. That was the coolest thing too, was in the game, in the box for CDI, they included the soundtrack on a separate CD. So you got the game and the soundtrack CD. How could I not buy that? Exactly. It's like, it's impossible that like I've wanted that game my entire life. He would have given it to me for like $5. It came with the soundtrack. It was an amazing soundtrack. But I found out that the in-game soundtrack is different than the published soundtrack for one of the songs, for one of the roulette song. I still haven't played the game. I found a documentary where they talk about making the game, so I'm definitely going to watch that. But it's like, I was like, I don't want to take this game right now. I don't have any more room for games. It's like in a video game where it's like, oh, my inventory is full. So it's really weird. So I can't live my life logically a lot of times because like it just won't work for me. And so how do I make this decision of, do I like live outside in a car in like a state forest where I'd be so happy and I could probably do that for a couple years? Do I rent a house for a year and have almost no money and I have to do like YouTube streaming or like programming video games or music or some shit, like YouTube DJing? Or do I stay in a hotel for like a couple months or days or years, like 1 year, and have no way to get real jobs, a real job, but be happy? And it's like a very difficult choice to make. All this on top of like my regular life, working with the AI LLM, making a documentary. So that's why I'm making this video, is like to get the human or person perspective, where it's like, what would you do? What option would you pick? And like, just get advice, because it's like when you're working with the AI LLM, you have no outside opinions. So it's like, this is my chance to reach out and ask for an outside opinion. I'm not sure what the response will be. And then next week I'll post the first week's video I was working on. And then hopefully just make a new video every week about working with the AI LLM, or just not doing that at all.